Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is back, everyone. Welcome back for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Who done messed up this time, y'all? Who done messed up? A Scientologist by the name of Joe Vilardi done messed up by saying the quiet part out loud on the internet. Oopsie daisy. You know, as a Scientologist, you're not supposed to admit that the only reason Scientologists go out into society sometimes and pretend to help some people is just for press releases, photo ops, fundraising opportunities. You're only supposed to say that quietly to fellow Scientologists inside the organization. You're not supposed to put it on the internet, but that's what Joe Vilardi did. So who are we talking about? We are talking about Joe Vilardi. He is a musician, singer, songwriter, and from what I can tell, guys, a relatively brand new Scientologist. Now, for any of you guys out there in the Scientology world who has more information about Joe and whether maybe he's a staff member, from what I can see, I don't think he's a staff member. I think he's a public Scientologist, relatively new, but I got to tell you what, the video that I'm going to share with you guys, he uses a lot of the lingo. He's pretty comfortable with the lingo, more comfortable than I would expect someone to be in the first 6 or 12 months of being in Scientology. So any of you guys out there with more info on our friend Joe, please let me know. growingupinScientology@gmail.com. So here you have Joe. This is just his Instagram account. There's no Scientology videos on here or anything. But when you go to the Scientology service completions list on truthaboutscientology.com, you will find a Joe Vilardi finished the Hubbard Qualified Scientologist course at the Celebrity Center International in Hollywood, California, about 7 months ago. Now, in Scientology, literally anyone who is an artist of any kind is kind of considered a celebrity. There just aren't that many celebrities in Scientology anymore, you guys. And yeah, if you're an actor, singer, songwriter, artist, musician, anything in the creative fields, you're kind of considered a celebrity and you're allowed to be take services at the Celebrity Center. Sometimes when the Celebrity Center gets desperate for statistics, they will just let any Scientologist go there because it's a little bit of a prestigious thing. It's like Scientology clout chasing is to be do your courses at the Celebrity Center. Okay, so HQS though, it's a low level Scientology course. So somebody could do that course very, very early on in Scientology, and he did that course at the Celebrity Center just 7 months ago. And that's under Joe Vilardi. Under Joseph Vilardi, we have even more lower level completions. Dianetics 55 is one of the most introductory courses that you can do. It's literally just an extension course from a book that anybody can buy. And then, of course, the Scientology Life Improvement courses. That's literally the courses that people do right off of the street. And he was doing that back in August. So that being said, I am very impressed with Mr. Vilardi's use of the Scientology lingo. So I'm going to show you a video. It's only 2.5 minutes long. It looks like this video used to be on Joe's Instagram account. It is no longer on Joe's Instagram account. Someone sent me a link of this video from the Underground Bunker blog. Because it uses so much lingo, I'm going to stop the video every now and then, explain some stuff, and then rewind it. Hope it's not too annoying. I'm going to give it my best shot. Let's take a look at what Mr. Vilardi has to say.
Hey, everybody, there's a briefing earlier tonight about the volunteer minister activities going on in LA right now. It was held at AOLA, and I just wanted to share a few key takeaways from it because from my viewpoint, this is information that every Scientologist on the planet should really know.
Okay, I'm just going to jump in. Volunteer ministers is essentially nothing but a front group that Scientology created to make it look like it's an organization that cares about helping people. It started, well, L. Ron Hubbard started a long time ago, but it never really became relevant in Scientology until the 9/11 disaster, the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The volunteer ministers is just a Scientologist putting on a yellow t-shirt and going out and doing things in the community to help people clean up parks, pass out water at, natural disaster sites. God forbid a Scientologist were to go out and help someone without being able to broadcast that it was a Scientologist doing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it only exists for the sake of getting Scientology good PR. Scientology, and I speak from experience as someone who spent 30 years in Scientology, born and raised in it. Scientologists do not care or value public service. L. Ron Hubbard said, basically, screw this society. We're building a new one. This society will never vote us into power, accept us into power, invite us into power. We don't need them. Screw them. We're building a new one. Only Scientology can fix whatever is wrong with the world. Don't bother going out there and trying to fix the world using conventional means. Just get people into Scientology, up Scientology's bridge. That's the only thing that will ever fix anything. Nothing else matters. Asterisk. Except when we want to put out press releases about what great people we are, then by all means, go out, do some good works, but make sure you're wearing a t-shirt and make sure you bring a camera crew, because that's all that matters. The building AOLA stands for the Advanced Organization of Los Angeles. It's where they deliver. It's the only organization in Los Angeles where they deliver the upper, higher level confidential levels where you learn about Xenu and the body thetans. And that is one of the buildings. It's the building on the southeast corner of L. Ron Hubbard Way and Fountain Avenue. All right, let's get back to it. I'm going to rewind.
So that we can align our efforts. Hey, everybody, there's a briefing earlier tonight about the volunteer minister activities going on in LA right now. It was held at AOLA, and I just wanted to share a few key takeaways from it, because from my viewpoint, this is information that every Scientologist on the planet should really know, so that we can align our efforts to make this thing go right and bring some sanity back into Los Angeles. So
okay, good. Okay, nothing to define there, but some thoughts and some comments. Scientology claims it has 15 million members worldwide. They've been claiming that number for years and years and years. They don't actually say a specific number anymore because they realize that they're backing themselves into a corner by saying numbers. But the last time they said a number publicly that I heard, it was 15 million. Okay, if you had 15 million members and you had central organizations, and central organizations have volunteer ministers in charges at each one of their organizations, and there's volunteer lists and there's member lists. And if you wanted to organize and mobilize 10,000 members, wouldn't the organization do it on its own internal communication lines instead of having a public Scientologist post a video to Instagram saying, hey, everyone, it sure would be nice if we could get 10,000 Scientologists to LA to put on yellow t-shirts and go help people? What they end up doing, in my opinion, what they end up doing ends up being all the evidence you need that they already know it's impossible to mobilize. There aren't 10,000 Scientologists in LA. There's only like 25, 30,000 Scientologists on the entire planet. They couldn't get 10,000 Scientologists to LA if their lives depended on it. And so they don't even try to get this done through the normal internal organization lines. They just have a little briefing. They tell the public what they want the public to do, and then make it the public's problem to go meet these targets, which they already know are impossible, but at least it'll make the public feel important. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, just wanted to say that. Here we go.
Here we go. First, and I think the most urgent thing is that the need for VMs is super, super high. We were given the target tonight that we need 10,000 VMs in the Los Angeles field like yesterday. We need 10,000 VMs right now in LA to handle the scale of the catastrophe that we're dealing with here. We really, really need to make that happen. So anyone who can be in LA really needs to get here and put some yellow on and get in action. A lot of the comm tonight was just about.
Okay, good. Anyone who can get here. Joe, you're just a public putting up a video on Instagram. If the Church of Scientology International actually wanted 10,000 of its own members to show up in LA, put on t-shirts, and get down to business, don't you think they would be able to do that by using their own internal official command channels? Don't you think the executive directors of all the organizations in Los Angeles could send out emails to all of their members and say, mandatory order from chairman of the board, you are to show up at AOLA or ASHO or LA org on this date? We've got, like, Scientology doesn't even have 10,000 volunteer minister t-shirts ready to hand out. Like, Scientology sets impossible targets that they have absolutely no way of accomplishing, no logistics arranged to accomplish said target, and just tells members, make it happen. All right, let's keep going.
How historic this whole thing. A lot of the comm tonight was just about how historic this whole thing is. Obviously, it's terrible, but at the same time, it's a historic opportunity for us as Scientologists to get on the comm lines of the world and really show people that we can make it go right and bring some sanity back into an environment that's literally burning to the ground right now. So,
oh my God. I just want to hear this one more. Here, let's do this one more time.
this whole thing is obviously it's terrible, but at the same time, it's a historic opportunity for us as Scientologists to get on the comm lines of the world and really show people that we can make it go right and bring some sanity back into an environment that's literally burning to the ground right now.
Oh my God. A historic opportunity to get on the comm lines of the world. Newsflash, Tom Cruise is the one who was supposed to get Scientology onto the comm lines of the world. So what does that mean? A comm line in Scientology just means communication line. A comm line in Scientology, a terminal, they have words for everything in Scientology, guys. A terminal is the word terminal in Scientology. If you say find a terminal or he's a great terminal, it means a person. A person, particularly an important person, a person who is a stable terminal, can receive, send, relay communication, and can get things done. So getting on the comm lines of the world means the communication lines, but communication lines link up terminals. So basically what that means is to make a good impression on important people in the world. That's what getting on the comm lines of the world means. And so what you've seen a lot in some of the news coverage, some of the live news coverage in LA, is you see Scientologists wearing the yellow shirts and the yellow jackets intentionally just walking in front of news cameras, like directly in front of news cameras, not in the background, actually helping people, who just happens to be filmed by news crews while in the act. It's like, no, it's like, hey, there's a news camera. Quick, guys, pick up something. And then literally all six of you just go walk right behind the journalist as if he's in your way. I've been seeing footage of this and I've been so wrapped up this week and I haven't done any videos about this, but he's like, this is a huge opportunity to get on the comm lines of the world. For Scientology to want to get on the comm lines of the world, what that used to mean is actually get hugely important people into Scientology and then have those hugely important people introduce Scientology to their hugely important friends. That is what people like John Travolta and Tom Cruise used to bring to the table for Scientology. I think the argument could be made that Tom and John have already exhausted all of the celebrity capital they had to spend when it comes to introducing Scientology to people, and it didn't exactly work very well. I do not know of a single VIP, celebrity, what have you, who was ever introduced to Scientology by Tom Cruise. I always thought that Will Smith had been directly introduced to Scientology by Tom Cruise, but Mike Rinder had always said, to the best of his knowledge, he actually never heard that was true. So, and even if Will Smith was introduced to Scientology by Tom Cruise, Will Smith ain't in Scientology anymore. So that's a big fail. Nicole Kidman was introduced to Scientology by Tom Cruise. She ain't in Scientology anymore either. In fact, Tom Cruise has made more suppressive people just by marrying them. You got Katie Holmes into Scientology. Katie Holmes ain't in Scientology anymore either. It seems like one of the best ways to guarantee you're going to be declared a suppressive person and leave Scientology is to marry Tom Cruise. Okay, so the celebrities aren't getting the job done anymore as far as getting Scientology on the comm lines of the world. So now all you got to do is show up to LA, put on a yellow t-shirt, pop up in front of some news cameras, and hopefully that is what will do the job for Scientology. This is how desperate Scientology's gotten these days. All right, let's keep it going.
So if you can get to LA, please do so. And if you're in LA, please get yourself to LA.org and put a yellow t-shirt on and get up there in the field. Aside from VMing, we were basically told at the briefing that we just need to support the IAS. The IAS is funding this huge relief effort right now.
I got to stop it right there. IAS, International Association of Scientologists. It's a legally separate entity from the Church of Scientology International. Scientology calls it its membership organization. When you pay for a Scientology course or Scientology auditing, there's full price, and then there's the IAS discount. You can become an annual member, which might be like $500 a year, A lifetime member is $5,000. One-time fee, you're a member for a lifetime. And then there's status levels after that where, you know, every 10, 20, $100,000, $1 million, $500,000, you get an extra status, all the way up to like patron, Excalibur, meritorious, for like $350 million. For this guy to say, LA is on fire. We need a bunch of people to put on yellow t-shirts and jump in front of news cameras. But what's most important right now, guys, you need to give money to Scientology. Scientology's funding these relief efforts. What relief efforts? You're putting on yellow t-shirts, showing up to areas and stealing supplies, bringing it into your tents and handing out bottles of water. And I promise you, the IAS is not spending a single freaking dollar on this. Never in my entire existence, the whole time I was in Scientology, on staff and in the Sea Org, did I ever actually witness or observe or even hear of the IAS spending a single dollar on any volunteer minister efforts. And by the volunteer minister, you may like volunteer minister. What are they ministering? Nothing. They show up to disaster sites, pass out water, pass out way to happiness booklets, give Scientology like locational assists and nerve assists. They're not doing anything. They're usually getting in people's way. And if you work at a Scientology organization or you're a public at a Scientology organization, you know damn well, anytime some disaster comes up and volunteer ministers need to go here or go there, or they need to get this, buy this, it is public Scientologists who are told, we need your money right now. We need your money right now. Direct donations, not donate to the IAS because the IAS is paying for this shit. No, this is one of those fake fundraising opportunities that Scientology does. So this whole effort to help in the fires, one, purely for press, and two, purely a money play for more donations. Here we go.
And we just need to support the IAS like never before. We need to support the IAS. There were some really profound anecdotes tonight about people asking who we are, people just automatically realizing that we're in control in an environment, thinking that we're in charge just from our presence and beingness, which is just amazing. Stories about being right beside the National Guard and the people at the very top of the firefighting world, and just a million other things. Long story short, we've been doing a great job so far, but we have a ton of work to do. We need a lot of manpower. So we need everyone to come together and do this thing so we can pull it off. Okay. Hope to see you around LA wearing some yellow real soon.
Yes, it's so important. It is so important. It's coming down from high command, top priority orders. And that's why I am doing a video about it on Instagram to mobilize. I mean, who are you getting the message out to? Like, is your viewing audience on Instagram all of the Scientologists in the world? No. So why are they asking you to do a video? It shows that Scientology doesn't have the ability to mobilize their own members. There are so few members. They know that if they actually put a concerted effort on getting 10, like if the organization actually admitted that it was going to use its own pre-established internal command lines to mobilize 10,000 Scientologists, they probably wouldn't even be able to get more than 1,000. And that's if they said it was mandatory order from chairman of the board himself. They don't want to humiliate themselves by committing their own efforts to this effort. So they pawn it off on some public, some OT committee members, and then blame them for not working hard enough, because the organization is going to continue to be focused on the only thing Scientology actually cares about, which is squeezing money from its own members and just having them do Scientology, not doing anything for society. By the way, this is why Scientology has always failed to get tax-exempt charitable status in the United Kingdom, because over there, they actually have a public benefit test. Does this organization benefit society in any way and not just its own members? The UK says, no, you guys don't do a damn thing for society. In the US, there is no such test, which is one of the reasons Scientology is able to maintain its tax-exempt status here. All right, guys, short but sweet. Not quite as short as I thought it would be, but still short and sweet. Much more to come. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, Oh, yeah, deep on my love. Then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe.